Yo, 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 welcome everybody to TCR, Trinity Competitive Racing. We are here for season number 12, round number 3 of the Golden Class, and tonight we are at the wonderful Canadian Grand Prix tonight, the street circuit, if you consider it a street circuit. We are here for the Golden Class. Once again, Silver Class was last night. Tonight is Golden, tomorrow is Platinum. This is round number 3 before our off week, which we are off next week for the, I guess you could say, American Labor Day weekend. And my name is Seafreeze, taking you tonight through tonight's proceedings. And again, joining me, like last week, I will be joined alongside a Platinum Class driver in the Aston Martin, Tronk. How are you tonight, Tronk?
Hey, hello, Seafreeze. Thanks for having me one more time. Right now we're having, this Grand Prix of Canada with, 12 players, 12 drivers. And for the Golden Class, yeah, I'm really fine. I hope you're doing as well. So let's have fun and see what the drivers are going to do tonight.
Yeah, a little lower attendance on the grid. A few people are still on vacation traveling, but we hope to get a nice solid race in a good quality race in that with the 12 that we do have tonight. We do have there's Bat Plus spinning on the back straight in the Williams. The whole wing is gone. He's still got the tires, and he'll that's a early wreck in qualifying. Man, I don't know if that damage is gonna, get fixed. It looks like he hit a few walls. Might have had some floor damage, which might cost him some time in this qualifying. And I was actually gonna mention, we're going to round number 3, and Bats Plus is still winless. And if I would have said that to you coming in, I think we'd all be scratching our head for this one, and I think we all are. He did cross the line first at Italy in the first race, but got it taken away from a steward's decision with the contact with him and Just Jose, who was also here tonight. And then last week, a bunch of stuff happened. He had a pretty bad start and just wasn't able to really get it all going, but it was his teammate Jones, who is, I guess, one of many on still vacation. He returned last week for his first race, and he won. So Bats Plus's teammate, the other Williams driver, won last week, but he's not on the grid tonight. But Bats Plus, spinning and qualifying, that's not going to really help him, as I guess you can say his arch rival in this early season is Just Jose, and he's on provisional pole with a 108.8. And tonight we are using the strict track limits in TCR, so the drivers will have to keep within the white lines for all of the track on corner cuts and extensions, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. But we hope they can stick within the limits so we can actually get the racing we do deserve here today, and it doesn't come down to penalties, which hopefully it doesn't. We saw a lot of penalties last night in silver. We actually had Blim Machine in the McLaren cross the line, and he was in first. But he had 11 seconds of penalties. His teammate, Sir Charles, actually took the win, and it was a McLaren 1.5. The penalties dropped Blin from 1st to 5th. In the end of it, there was a lot of safety cars last night. Hopefully we don't get much tonight, because we only do have the 12. I would hate to lose any more drivers with a safety car, but you're probably going to see one, because Canada is a really tricky track. Nate Trunk, what are your most difficult corners? What are you looking out for tonight?
Yeah, so definitely it's a challenging circuit. Canada it reserves lots of emotions, especially because, as you said, it's not really a road circuit. It's not really either a street circuit. The problem is that the walls are too close, I would say. So Wall of Champions is definitely a challenge for anyone. The last corner, the last chicane, before the finish line, that's the Wall of Champions, and history is telling, and it is a traditional circuit. That's really, really, a challenging one to do. You want really to gain time by cutting a little bit of corners there, but you can pay a very tough toll, if you miss it. Yeah, definitely World Champions would be one of the most difficult ones. There's a second one, which is, I guess, turns 3 and 4, and I would draw everybody's attention to that one. It's a kind of nest. It's a right and left corner 3 and 4, and you should remember even some challenges we had a couple of years ago in the real Formula One, when Sebastian Vettel somehow went through the grass and actually touched with Lewis Hamilton, and that one is also a hard one because of kind of blind, and the wall was also closed there.
Yeah, that's a great example. I think in most recent years, when we think of Canada, we think of that last incident between Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton, and that controversy after the race, which is really a highlight in the most recent years here at Canada. And also another, like you said, the Wall of Champions is going to be hard, and Canada is all chicanes, so that's kind of why we run the strict here, because you can gain a lot on corner entry. You really have to nail the first portion of every chicane, because if not, you're going to be sacrificing the following corner and then all that momentum down the straight. So that's why Canada is such a hard track. You really got to nail turn 1 for 2, and then that whole straightaway, and then you, like right here on Bats Plus, you got to nail for turn 3 to set up your 4 and get that straightaway speed to the next corners, which another chicane. You got the left turn of 5, which sets you up for the 6, and if you mess up one, you mess up both and all of that straightaway. So it's very crucial. Another chicane. They're all chicanes, and they're all very complex corners. A lot of commitment corners, like Bats Plus just went through there. He did put on the mediums. He fixed his wing. He sitting P7 at the moment on a medium tire, but we don't really know that damage after that early spin in qualifying. Fire Up Flow actually went quicker than Just Jose. He's at a 108.7, just exactly a tenth. You couldn't time it better than that. Exact tenth over Just Jose is the Ferrari, and let me tell you, Ferrari. Fire Up Flow in the Ferrari, that's a tongue twister. Say that 5 times quick. I don't think you could do it. He's been having a really strong start to the season in the Ferrari, moving up from silver, and man, he's fighting right up there with some of the golden guys. It's wonderful to see, and his teammate is down in 8th at the moment, but he's also been doing a great job as Lataupe in his return in the Haas goes another half a tenth, I would say, right above Fire Up Flow. So right now it's pretty close, as we still have about 8 minutes left in qualifying. I wanted to point out as well, Blinn Machine was doing the numbers, and he mentioned that tonight is TCR's 400th video on the TCR YouTube channel. We are streaming live on both Twitch and YouTube, so if you are a new viewer on Twitch, we didn't just show up this year. We've been around for many years, since 2016, and we have a bunch of YouTube videos on our channel. It's the same for both, but we are live on Twitch and YouTube. But this is our 400th video on the YouTube, and we want to thank everyone watching and supporting. Don't forget to hit the like button, give us some comments, some questions, some interesting topics. I'm sure we'll have some time to get through that tonight. We would definitely like to see all that, but yeah, a huge success to TCR, and tomorrow will be 401 and counting. So that's pretty cool stat that Blinn brought up, so I'd like to thank you there. We're on board with Gagne Wee. He is going to be finishing his lap here. It's a valid lap through the final chicane to the Wall of Champions, right on the curb. Hits the DRS, which he does. He stays a little bit more left than you like, but he 6/10 up. He was not improving on that one. We also have Chargers on a lap in the Mercedes. And very quick through turns 3 and 4. Let's see what he could do. 6 and change left in qualifying. We got a few guys on the comments saying they're going to be rooting for Bats Plus tonight. Here's a question, Trunk. If a car gets floor damage And now, I don't know if you know this. I don't play the game enough to know. If a car gets floor damage in qualifying, does that damage transfer to the race, or I'm assuming it's a brand new car? Because I don't really know if it would get transferred over, because Bats Plus really had a big shunt in qualifying. I don't know if that'll. Does anyone know about that? I don't think it would transfer over, but that'd be kind of cool if it did.
Oh, and I'm here, Seafried. Sorry, I was muted. Can you believe that? Sorry for that.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah, and I was
No
speaking
worries.
a lot about that. So I really don't believe this transfers out to the race itself. So it would be also fair that it's that it wouldn't be any kind of damage like floor damage would be transferred for qualifying to race, just to keep the realism, right? We have this thing also in the real Formula One, and the mechanics really doing an awesome work into repairing cars, and we have this thing even in this last weekend with Sergio Perez again, Red Bull doing an awesome all the mechanics there fixing the car in short term. Even though the race didn't happen, right? But that was really an impressive thing to be noted. So I don't think so. What is sad in that case is that he got damage. When he pits back, he will have his front wing changed. But any other kind of damage that which is something new for this version of the game, it wouldn't be, let's say, fixed, and then this would be, let's say, compromising his whole qualifying.
Yeah, good points. Good points. We got about 4 and change left in qualifying, and I guess I will go through the standings for the championship at the moment. And I'm actually quite surprised by this. It's actually Bam Bam. Where is he tonight? He's sitting P9 at the moment. He's in the Mercedes. He's sitting at top with 30 points, followed by X Ryan, who's not here tonight. He's got 26. And then we have a few guys tied at 25. That would be Fire Up and Jones after his last win last weekend out. And then Bats Plus in 5th with a solid 23. So that's the top 5 all very much in contention. And after 2 races, you kind of expect that. But no one really pulling away at the moment. You also have Just Jose down. I couldn't even... Where is he in the standings? I couldn't even tell you. He doesn't have any points, which is also pretty shocking. He's had a few... races with no points. Ooh, there's TJ. He's got no wing. That's not what you like. But I'm sure Just Jose and a few others like Latope and I think Giggle as well should be getting some nice points. A good day to get some points due to the low attendance. This is one of the races you just kind of need a finish and you get some points on the board. Good for the teammate. But Be Good is on a lap. He just did invalidate though, and that's going to compromise his whole next lap. I hope he put enough fuel in. Unless he'll have to come back in. I don't know if there's enough time, but yeah, he cut the final chicane there. And we have STK going for a lap. I think he is on one right now. He did not set a lap time just yet. Reserving from the silver class. Hits the final chicane. Missed the first portion a little bit. He gets on the traction straight to the line. It's going to put him 10th though, 109.6. It's about a second or so off the pole time. And let's see who else is on a lap. Here we go. Bats Plus, I believe, is on the medium tire. He was able to get a lap good enough for P2. Don't know if he's coming into the pits, or it looks like he's getting another lap. Tronk, if you would like to take us through a lap at Canada, on board with not Bats Plus, because he is not let's see, maybe Chargers. Let's go on board with Chargers, Tronk. Let's take us through a lap.
Definitely, he's opening up his lap. He would be reaching maybe a top speed in the circuit. First corner, turns 1 and 2. This is called the Senna turn. Oh, he missed. So maybe I'm afraid this lap won't be valid for him. So that's the Senna corner, as we can say. Then turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go on board. Be Good. I think he's on a lap now. Chargers, I think, unfortunately, had to back out of it. But go ahead. It's Be Good now.
Okay, so now he's into again a sequence of left and right. There's the second DRS zone of Canada. He's going to be having to pass Chargers and then another right and left. As you said, it's all about chain gains and then
Oh
speed.
man!
Oh, maybe I'm not giving good luck to this
Yeah,
guy.
let's end that segment right there. I think you're bad luck. Chargers now be good. I think that we've done enough damage. Oh, that is wonderful. Oh man, I
tried, but I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Right, so it's affecting the.
Yeah, like we go back to our earlier point, it's a tricky track is Canada, and we saw a few guys had some earlier spins, and yeah, Chargers and be good. But yeah, we got 30 seconds left, a few guys left. Bats Plus was content with his medium tire lap, good enough for P2. We got Latope. He was leading last week at Japan, then a crucial mistake caught him and Jones out. Jones actually was able to get back and get that win from last week, if you remember. Latope showing some speed. Here he's on the lap now is the Haas driver. Provisional pole at the moment, looking to increase the gap. It's very close between. We have three guys in the 108.7s, Just Jose and Chargers, only a tenth behind that. Oh, very loose, and again! He had the fastest first sector though, but he went for a spin in turns 5 and 6, and he's got to be careful here. We got a Ferrari coming up. And this is the other Ferrari. We got Gottney Weeb was able to get past on the back straight about a tenth up. This will put him in to contention for the top 5 if he can keep it going.
For those who maybe don't know, some specifics about the game, that situation is a bit tricky for drivers, because again, they missed the lap, so they need to recover from that. But he was kind of in the wrong way. After the spin, he was as well stopped, at that position, and then the game starts counting, right? And if they don't manage well to get rid of that situation, they can get disqualified, and then maybe, for example, for Latope, he's right now at P3. He could lose all positions without disqualification and go to the back of the grid,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we do have the ghosting off, so yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, you gotta be careful coming back on, and then also you also have to watch that time, or just you don't want to get disqualified. Yeah, I think that's actually the check flag, and it was Just Jose who was able to snag a pole by only 100th off of Chargers. Very close between the two, and that's going to be the front row is Just Jose and Chargers. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get on board with them, but I guess we didn't. That's a good thing we didn't get on board with them, because I think if we did, it would have went bad. Because yeah, Jones pointed out in the comments, the commentator's curse is alive and well tonight, and I have a long history of that, so I'm gonna watch out tonight, drivers. I'll be saying a bunch of great things to everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, great poll. Just Jose, after no points this season, he's looking for some redemption. He's starting on pole. Chargers right behind him, and I got Latope. Wasn't able to complete that final run, but look how close it is. The top 4, top 5, within 800ths of a second. That is close, but the key point you got to look at is Bats Plus. He's on the mediums, so he's going to get a little bit of an advantage. The only thing you got to watch out for some wing damage earlier on. That could set his strategy a little farther back. But yeah, you got the Ferrari 5 and 7, Red Wing right in the middle. You got the TJ, Giggle, and Bam Bam, and STK and Be Good. Unfortunately, Be Good was the final guy here tonight, but all within a second, so it should be very close racing. Everyone's all within 1 second of each other, so that's pretty competitive. I like that.
Yeah, what was interesting as well was the position for Bam Bam. That was really, a surprise, not in the positive side, I would say. So hope he has, some strategy for the race, but maybe he's just, struggling with the track itself, or even with the new behavior of the cars in this version of the game, right?
Thank you, Broom, for the comment on the congrats to the 400 videos. We had a bunch more races earlier. We just, we have a, you know what? You guys have to let us know if you would like to see a few past broadcasts that actually aren't on the channel. We have a few from season 3 and 4. And unfortunately, we don't have much from 1 and 2 because we weren't really streaming much back then. We have some footage, but not much like commentator-wise. But we do have some past old school footage. So, but congrats on it. Thanks. Thank you very much. And the lap record, TCR lap record was actually for qualifying was 109.999. And I believe that was in qualifying, if that's how the record is, and that was by Failed from Golden Class Season 9, and that was broken by Just Jose tonight by many drivers as well. These cars are very quick. Looks like it's going to be a clear race. I don't know if any drivers can confirm that, but it looks very clear out there. Not a cloud in the sky, and if it is, it's just a nice fluffy one. We like fluffy clouds. Alright, and we're on the formation lap for the Canadian Grand Prix, and this is the time where I ask every week, and we can always get it wrong, is the predictions for the top 3, the win, second, and third on the podium. So leave it down in the comments below. This is the time. Put your predictions down below, and I'll start with you, Tronk. Who is your top 3 for tonight?
Okay, so let's somehow, cheer, just Jose, and hope he's maintaining his P1. It was really an awesome qualifying session. By just some tenths of seconds, he was able to assure his P1 and his pole position, right? So I'll be picking just Jose, and you know what? I will be also supporting Bam Bam this time, so that he's really going for a recovery race and maybe gets himself into the podium. P2 would be okay for him, and would be very good for him actually, right? Yeah. And Bats Plus in SP3.
Awesome. There you have it. Just Jose, Bam Bam, and Bats Plus. I'm actually going to go with Chargers. Silver Class champion from a few years ago. I think he gets it done today from starting P2. We're also going to put Bats Plus in second. The alternate strategy is very good here, I believe. But I think Chargers will ultimately get it out ahead, and we'll put Fire Flow. I like his introduction to the Golden Class, and I think he's been doing a great job for them. So it's going to be, what I say, I forget. Chargers, Bats Plus, and Fire Up Flow. Short-term memory, I think so. Jones says Bats, Jose, and Latope. So we got a few predictions out there. We will be on board with the medium runners of Bats Plus. Off the line, and the Williams, Seafreeze with the call. This is Season 12, race number 3 of the Golden Class, the Canadian Grand Prix. And there were lights coming on very quickly. 5. And they're out. Just Jose gets a good start. Latope over Chargers. Bats Plus looks up behind. Contact by Bats Plus and the Ferrari. No damage. They're continuing. TJ had a bad start off the line, Trunk. It looks like it. Ferrari's up 4 and 5 over Red Wing. It's going to be Just Jose over Latope.
Yeah, just to confirm, same TJ has severe damage in his front wing. Yeah, it's definitely, a bad start for him. He definitely needs to go to the pit and fix everything there.
STK on Red Wing down the back straightaway. That's for 6th. Red Wing falling off from a few positions off the bat, and Bats Plus as well. A very poor start after having that track position on the alternate strategy of the medium tire. No damage, it doesn't look like it, but he's down to 8th. Another poor opening lap by Bats Plus. It's going to move him down the line, and he's got overtake Red Wing on the straightaway here. And it doesn't look...
Gigo needs to pit as well.
Yep, so we also have, I think that's Bam Bam, Giggle, and TJ into the pits, so that's 3 of them there. And then you got top 9 still moving forward. Everyone else looks to be clean, so back up to the front, let's see what's going on. Keeping tabs, next lap we'll get DRS. Latope quicker through first sector. Oh, he goes for a spin! Latope, you gotta watch out! Ghost things off. He takes a really good respectful weight there by Latope. Not many drivers would do that, but that's really good. He went for the spin, but he waited for the oncoming traffic, and that's what we'd like to see. But another mistake by Latope earlier on these soft tires, just like last week at Japan, and that takes him right out of contention. But he has still a long way to the end. He can still stick in and get there, but that gives a 2.3 second gap from Just Jose and Chargers, and that's crucially out of the DRS. Just Jose is getting a little bit of momentum. It could go into his favor.
Yeah, unfortunately we had this issue with Latope, so he was exactly on the same sequence of corners, right? Corner 6 and 7, where he had the spin as well in the qualifying, right? So apparently he's not really, let's say, so comfortable in doing those turns, right?
Yeah, it could be a setup thing. It could be, hey, I don't know how to take this, guys. I wish my teammate or someone tells me how to do it. No, I'm sure Latope knows exactly how to take it. It's a tricky corner as well with trying to get on the traction. Could be a gearing. You know, you kind of ride that first curb. It could be the curb or the setup not allowing to get really that rotation through the corner. But nonetheless, I think no damage, so he's able to continue. And yeah, like I said, a long race. I do suspect at least one safety car at some point throughout this race. But we do have a real nice start here by the Ferraris. I really like this Ferrari, this updated squad in the Ferrari team. P3 and P4, you got Gotney Weeb, then Fire Flow. And they're kind of working together. I know they are. They always do. So this is a great team. It looks like he's going to fire up Flow maybe down the inside. No, it's going to just be a peak. And it's going to be Gotney Weeb still the lead car. See if they can chase down Chargers in the front too. If not, they might have to switch positions and give Fire Up Flow a chance.
Yeah, I just saw Red Wing being chased by Bats Plus. He forced out of the Wall Champions. He almost missed that. He was even able to
we got a car. Oh, it's Chargers. Chargers made a mistake. Chargers into the wall from P2. I think he might have clipped the turn 3 and 4. It was probably all by himself. Doesn't look like any damage from what I can see, but he lost a few positions now to 5th under pressure. Bats Plus on Red Wing gets it into the chicane. I can say that every time in any corner of Canada. It's a safe bet. But down to the hairpin. Be Good in the inside of Red Wing. Unable to keep it stick. We now have DRS enabled, so these guys, except for Chargers, will be able to use that. We do have another pass. Ferrari swap out ahead. And then back here, Back Plus down to the final corner. Chargers goes into the pits. He might have got damage. Back Plus moves ahead. Red Wing using that DRS down to turn 1. And not enough, so Back Plus was able to get that position over Chargers and finally get past Red Wing. He's able to get back to 5th, but he is not the lead medium runner. That goes to STK in the McLaren, who is now on to the back of the Ferraris.
It's a bit impressive, you know, the McLaren, which is P4, I guess the name is STX, right?
Yeah, he's had many name changes whilst he's been racing TCR, but yeah, tonight he's STK.
STX, okay?
Or XTX, yeah, you're right. I think it used to be STK. Yeah, you're right, my bad. I'm so used to calling him the one name. But yeah, it looks like he's got a run on Gotney Weeb for 3rd, and he thinks better of it. It's a tough corner to go side by side through. It usually ends in tears. He was able to keep within the DRS now into turn 1, picks the inside, and to turn 2 he's going to have the outside. Ferrari runs a little wide, a little bit of contact, but it's going to be the McLaren, sweeps over and defends and gets that position. So nice move from STX, as we will now call him, and he's up to 3rd.
The good thing is the following. He started from the back of the grid. He already gained 8 positions. He started as P11, now he's P3. Yeah, he's really on fire in this beginning of the race.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's like very easy to, sometimes when you do start in the back, it's like, man, I get all these positions, but then when you do start up front, you don't really go nowhere. It's very weird how that works, like reverse psychology.
Yeah, and even, sometimes you get too much excited about your pace, and then mistakes can happen as well. So let's see how it goes, because, the car is behaving every time a little bit different, weight distribution, tire wear, and everything. So let's see how it goes. Oh, by the way, he's wearing the medium tires as well. So, yeah, he has a different strategy than some others, right?
Yeah, let's talk strategy. Why don't we? Canada, from my understanding, has always either been, you could do either a 1 or a 2 stop. Now, because the pit lane's kind of short, so it allows for a 2 stop. The tire degradation is very, it goes right off. Actually, they do last a long time, but the difference between the tires of a fresh set, you really get to use it, and you really get that gain all that time back. But you could also do the 1 stop. Which is a little bit harder, but for someone like Just Jose, it could be a nice option for him, because he wouldn't really have to do much work. Oh, now we got a VSC. That might change something.
La Toupe.
Yeah, another spin. Yeah, no wing, so Latoupe's gonna have to pit. Let's go up at the front. We got Just Jose. He's gonna be going past the pit lane. Yes, he does pit. Watch the pit entry. Yep, he's clean. Let's see Fire Flow. Will he take advantage? Yeah, he stopped in time. He's clean. STX. That doesn't roll off the tongue as easy, I tell you that. I'm going to say K. He goes into the lead. Oh, he's on the medium, so that makes sense. Bats Plus and Just Jose now puts on some mediums.
Yeah, I mean, they had maybe an earlier pit stop, that those soft tires, they can last something like 8 laps, still some good performance, right? At least this is, the kind of notes I made here from my own experience. It always varies from car to car, from setup to setup, and especially from driver to driver as well, right? Yeah, everybody on mediums now.
Yeah, mediums. Latoupe should also be. Let's see what fresh set of shoes he puts back on. Yeah, it's going to be the mediums and a new wing. So yeah, everyone's on the mediums, which kind of opens it up for later in the race. It looks like many of them will do the 2 stop. If I'm thinking the right strategy, it seems like that will be the best option, because you got a lot of laps. 35. Latoupe just gets out ahead of the AlphaTauri. I mean, that was very close.
I noticed one special thing in the game, we're watching here. Maybe it's a bug in the game itself. We can't see the smoke, because I just saw STX locking up on the hairpin, and it was really a big lock, and no smoke at all. I was just seeing, the drawings on of the the design of the wheel itself, totally locked, and that was a lockup, but we can't see the smoke.
Yeah, that is very weird. I haven't actually noticed that. I'll have to keep tabs on it. Jones said that sequence cut into Bat's advantage quite a bit. I do think so. You got Just Jose, who just pitted, now about 4 seconds back, we'll say. And Bats Plus has not pitted yet, although I don't think Just Jose could get to the end of the race on that tire. Now we don't. Bats Plus never showed his cards yet. We don't know if he's doing the 1 or the 2. And STX as well, he hasn't showed his cards either. They still have not pitted, so they have an option to later in this race, depending on a safety car, to maybe put the hards on. They can do that. They could get to the end, 1 less pit stop, or you go for the 2. But Just Jose has pretty much got a full pit stop on the guys in the front. They're gonna have to do something different if they want to try to go for the win here tonight, and that's just my opinion of engineer's opinion.
Yeah, and definitely, one option would be a 1 stop, but then it would be for those who started with mediums. They should put they would be putting, in that case, if they pick that 1 stop strategy, they would go for hards and then go on to the end of the race. And this should happen maybe in a bit, something like, in 4 or 5 laps. Then the hard tires could last until the end of the race, but we never know, right? So the cards are not shown yet, as I said.
Yeah, exactly. And Bigot as well is not pitted. He's in 4th, so he's a little bit farther back from the other 2 guys on the same strategy, but he's still doing good. Red Wing picked up the first penalty of the day on lap 10. So he'll have a penalty to his name towards the end. That's for corner cuts. We are on strict corner cutting tonight. I'm actually surprised. I thought that we'd have a little bit more penalties here at Canada, but it seems like the drivers are actually really doing great and keeping within the limits, which is nice. Well, now I just said that, watch another 5 laps, we'll have everyone with the penalty. It's a matter of time, I think. I'm sure a lot of guys have maybe a warning here or there, but other than that, very clean.
Yeah, the other thing with not having too many penalties maybe at this point of the race, Seafreeze, would be maybe because the corners themselves are the curbs themselves are really, let's say, stricter to us. The physics of the game has changed, and we are struggling a lot. While driving through the curbs, accelerating, it's very easy to lose control of the car. So we'd better stay away a little bit of the curbs or be gentle with them. Otherwise, you can miss the car, and this somehow affects not having too much corner cutting and not too many penalties around.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, I haven't done much Canada around here, but maybe that's a good reason. You try to cut the corner and you just spin. Maybe that's why we've had so many spins today. But looks like we have a little bit of a dull period. We have a fire up flow for 4th on Be Good, and then you have TJ still within the DRS of La Taupe, and that's for the points in 10th. Let's go up a little bit farther. We'll see fire up flow gaining on Be Good right at the time. Great time. DRS into turn 1, and that should be a move there for fire up. He's about 5 seconds back from Just Jose. He's got to try to reel him in a little bit. But he's on a great performance here tonight. Today also, I'll actually take a moment while we do have a little bit of a gap here in the race. Things will be heating up in a few moments' time as we have more strategies and pit stops coming soon, but it was announced today. And I just wanted to hear your thoughts, Tronk, and anyone else in the comments. Kimi Räikkönen has decided to call it quits. I don't know if it was his decision or there's probably a lot of other politics involved in, within the team negotiations, but he's retiring from F1, and I don't think I was shocked. I think it was expected, as we have the gap here, Just Jose on Bats Plus, and it's a clear overtake into the final corner. Bats Plus was actually picked up a penalty in the last lap or so. Now Just Jose, a full pit stop ahead of Bats Plus, now has the option to do kind of what he really wants to do, because now he's got STX only 3 seconds ahead of him. So it's a good move there from Just Jose. But yeah, when I entered the F1 scene, I'm a little bit younger, so it was actually in 2015 was actually one of my first experiences in F1, and I was a huge Ferrari fan anyway, because who doesn't love the Ferrari? And it was actually Kimi Räikkönen and Sebastian Vettel at Ferrari, and those were the 2 guys there at Ferrari, and I kind of always leaned to them because they were at Ferrari. So it's gonna be weird not seeing Kimi on the grid next year,
yeah,
because that's one of the first drivers. I think the first driver, as soon as I got the game, I was so happy to get the game and to learn F1, and it's turned into such great things in TCR, league racing, and that wouldn't be possible today if I didn't have that experience those few years. And it was either Vettel or Räikkönen. One of the two is my first person I ever drove for in the game, because I always went to Ferrari, and it was either Kimi or Vettel, depending on the day. So it's going to be sad to see him go. Yeah. I don't know. Your thoughts on Kimi retiring?
Oh, definitely. One of the strongest, let's say, personalities we have in Formula One. Every driver always builds up, that kind of, the personality behind it, how they want to be perceived by the fans and those things. And Kimi, in that sense, has his own, fan base, which really appreciate, the behavior, kind of not so good in, in public relations, kind of showing off like, he doesn't have, much sense of humor of things. You quite don't know if he's not understanding the jokes or he's just not wanting to speak much about what's going on there. There has been some hilarious, videos, on interviews on how he would be answering to reporters, to journalists, for, ordinary questions. I remember one, for example, which was, in my opinion, one of the funniest, they just asked, how do you keep, tires at the right temperature? Why you're not weaving as normally they do during safety car? What do you do to keep those tires hot and those things? He would say, I just drive fast. So yeah, I will miss definitely Kimi. The guy is awesome, and so there were questions like, hey Kimi, what's the feeling on working with, driving a new car in such a new track and everything? He would say, yeah, that's just normal. So I'll miss him. Total respect to his achievements as well. I guess he's the world champion of 2007, and he was actually a teammate of Felipe Massa. I am Brazilian, so I keep following also, especially the Brazilian drivers and those things. So yeah, we will miss Kimi.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish I had a chance to see more of his earlier career, but yeah, like I said, I was a little bit late into F1. Wasn't able to see much of his moments, but I did see many of them. One of them, as Just Jose was just able to get past STX in that exchange, a very easy move on the straightaway. One of my favorite, you talk about the quotes in the comments, is one of them, it was, I forget which year and exactly when, but it was about Austria when they added that third DRS zone. There used to be two, and then they added one, and a reporter, I think, in one of the press conferences, they asked, how do you think overtaking will be at the track with the added DRS? And then he just said, well, I think half or more of the track is DRS. And straight away, so it should be quite easy to overtake. And that one was funny. I forget exactly where. I gotta look that one back up, but he's had so many great moments. And it's always weird because we don't really see much from these drivers, when they retire. We don't really see them much unless they become a reporter, commentator, someone still within the sport. But once they're out of the sport, you don't really get to see them much. And hopefully we can see Kimi. I don't think he wants to do any commentating, I'll tell you that. But at some degree, I hope we still get to see a little bit of him from time to time. As STX is now into the pit lane from the medium tires from P2. He decides to put the softs on. That kind of confirms he's going to try for a 2 tonight, because those softs will not get to the end from this point here.
Yeah, definitely he will go for 2 stops.
It's going to come out right behind the Ferraris and up to 5th, so good positioning. And now with that fresh set of rubber, he'll have to chase down the 2 Ferraris ahead on differing strategies, but he definitely has to get past as soon as possible. He can't get held up. If he does, it's going to hold his strategy in his race a little bit farther back, but he's definitely competing for a podium here tonight. He just needs to nail in these good laps, avoid getting penalties if possible, and that goes same for Bats Plus on those that altering strategy, starting on the mediums first, whereas the other 2 Ferraris and Just Jose out in front started out on the soft tires. And those are contenders. I'd say the top 5 still have a shot at it. The rest doesn't look as good. Red Wing did have a disconnection. I don't know if he was able to get back into the race, but he is P6. Whether that's him or not, I don't know. Be Good on Chargers in the final chicane, and he was able to get it for P7. And you have the 2 Mercedes, P8 and P9. That's Chargers after his mistake in the first stint. I had him for the win tonight. I thought Chargers would get it done. Still a little bit left in the race, but he's sitting P8 with his teammate right behind him. And Lataupe with another spin. He's set back to P10. He's clear from behind. Not much pressure from TJ, who's in 11th. 6 seconds back. And way in the back, 10 seconds, is you having a giggle. And 12th not having the best day and start to season 12 of the Golden Class. And no retirements at the moment. I think I might have just jinxed it, which might be a good thing if you're a viewer. There's pretty big gaps. The closest thing I would probably think is going to be STX closing and reeling in the 2 Ferraris. Other than that, oh, nice save by STX on the final corner. He almost did a Kevin Magnussen out of the, almost into the pit wall. He saved it once. I'm like, oh, good save. Then I was like, no. Not yet. He didn't save it fully. I almost spoke too soon. He almost crashed into the other wall. Then he saved it again, and then I could say it was a good save. That was a good save. But it costed him some time out on track. I'd also like to take the time to say, you know, thanks for huge support. I like all the comments onto the YouTube side of things. I definitely appreciate it. Keep them coming. Questions, comments, concerns on the notes that you're thinking about that you might want to refer back to us, and that'd be good points in making. Also, don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already. We didn't mention earlier, this is our 400th video on the YouTube side of things, so don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And for more information, in the description below, we have the website for more information. If you want to join Season 12, we still have a few seats left available here and there, and if there is open seats, you could always reserve as well. So we have it all available for Silver, Gold, and Platinum class, so hit the link down below. We also have the Discord link to join the server if you're interested in joining TCR. That's all down below. And also, if anyone's thinking of getting any Fanatec gear, any new wheels, I really do recommend Fanatec. If you're gonna go, you gotta go for Fanatec first, in my opinion. I think they're very good quality, and go for Fanatec. We have an affiliation link down in the description that help TCR, so we can provide more races beyond 400. That's also in the description below.
So same TGA just got lapped. He is in soft tires, new soft tires. He's able to chase just Jose somehow, but it's going to be hard for him, to unlap himself. So definitely, not a good day for him, not a good night for him.
And to the first corner, STX fastest lap 10.5, looking on a move on Gunny Weeb out of the turn 2. Gunny Weeb covers that off nicely. He's under pressure now. If he can hold them off, could be for a podium. We still don't know how it's going to shake out. So Gunny Weeb's got to do all he can to hold up STX, because that's going to help him and his teammate out ahead 4 seconds up the road. So let's see what defense Gunny Weeb can do. He's about middle road. He's going to go inside. He's going back left. I think that's appropriate. I don't think STX was really looking for a move there. Maybe into the hairpin. Down the inside, maybe he's going to go for the dive. And he hits the hairpin really nice, out of traction. Let's see who gets DRS. Yeah, it's actually going to be the McLaren with DRS, but Gunny Weeb comes back at him. Yeah, McLaren's up ahead, so nice move. And that promotes him to third because Fire Up Flow just pitted from P3.
So that was an interesting one because STX actually got the DRS. So I was somehow expecting Gunny Weeb to switch back the position, right, and to try to overtake again. But then STX added the advantage of the DRS to protect himself and ensure by now his P3.
Yeah, if you time it just right coming to the hairpin, you could actually. It's a weird detection zone. I don't know if that's supposed to be. If you're behind, you could get the DRS for the straight, but you can make the move, and then, yeah, like you said, gain even more on the advantage, because it looked like the Ferrari was coming back, but then as soon as STX opened the DRS, it was like, nah, it was pretty much done deal. A little extra miles per hour on the straightaway, and that was pretty much it. So a very nice, timely move.
And that wasn't an easy one at all, because STX, got any wheel, goes to the pit now, right?
Yeah, a few drivers. We have Bat Plus from second. He now puts on the soft. Now this is interesting. It's only, oh man, it's around 12, 13 laps on the soft tire. I don't know. They might get to the end. I don't know. Possibly. They'd definitely be worn at the end of it, but Bats Plus, I think, was able to eke out enough on the mediums to where he can safely get to the end on those soft tires, and I think he'll have the timing. I don't think he'll be under much pressure to get to the end. Now, STX, I don't know if you could say the same. He's got 6 laps old, and he definitely can't get to the end. He'll have to do another pit stop. So that was good thinking by Bats. If he does decide to go that route, it might get him a podium here tonight. I don't know if it gets STX a podium, because I think he'll need a pit again. That's some interesting points on the strategy front.
Yeah, for Bet Plus is going to be interesting. I believe he's going to be trying to go into the end of the race with those soft tires, but he will be struggling at the end of this race.
Yeah, I think he'll definitely be able to get to the end. But yeah, like you said, the wear is going to be pretty high on them. That's when mistakes start to come out. So he's got to be careful. But right now he can kind of push a little bit, start to gain that gap back. And it looks like he's really contending for a podium here. A few penalties now. We passed the midway point a few laps ago, and now a few penalties are coming in. Still a few drivers clean. But other than that, it's really only one penalty for most. And I'm interested to see in a few laps about Just Jose. Let's see, you know, when he'll pit. I think he's really not under pressure by many. I think he might just watch for a good gap to pit. And then when the gap is clear, the coast is clear, he comes in and gets his tires. I think that's Just Jose's plan. He's got 17 lap old tires. And fire up on the back straight. Gets be good. Nice move. Passing world champions. And he still gets the DRS. That's another instance where he gets it on the next straightaway because of the detection zone. Got a few battles here. Chargers on Red Wing. We still don't know if that's Red Wing in the race or if that's Zai. He did disconnect. I never saw him come back. But look at Bam Bam around the outside of the Haas. They're still side by side. It's going to be Latope and Bam Bam side by side. Wonderful. 3 and 4. And Bam Bam takes it. Latope has to slop in right behind.
Yeah. And both of them, they're really also, you know, at the maximum age, I would say, of their medium tires. You know, 23 laps with Bam Bam, 17 laps with Latope. Definitely not the best tire condition, and they're just putting on a show here with those, you know, overtakes.
Yeah, that really was something. That was really good respect, especially in turns 3 and 4. To go side by side through there, no contact, both drivers, you know, it's usually only good for one driver to go through, but they were both able to get past side by side. Oh! As I say, Bam Bam, Latope, big damage. And I'll tell you exactly what happened there. You just was saying about the old tires on these cars. Bam Bam was coming into the pits, Latope wasn't, and that's what caught him out, and that's going to be damage to the back end of Bam Bam. I mean, Latope hit Bam Bam high speed. I mean, there's no way Bam Bam doesn't pick up rear damage from that. Latope, definitely. He's going to need another wing change. That's 2 on the day for the Haas. But luckily, the pits were right there for Latope. Now, Bam Bam had to go a whole nother lap. It's a very tricky area at Canada, is the pit entry.
Yeah.
Very difficult.
Yeah, and we often see, in that, pit entry, drivers somehow getting confused whether the driver in front will be, let's say, braking a little bit later because they want to, let's say, you can brake later in order to get into the into the time limiter of the pit lane, right? But then if you do it and the guy in front of you is not pitting, then the braking point is a little bit before, and misjudging exactly the braking point because of what you're going to be doing. Continuing the lap or entering the pits can cause confusion, and maybe that's what happened that time.
Yeah, I've always remembered many instances. I've had so many races, league races at Canada. I can't tell you how many times that's happened. I think almost every time you come here to Canada, that happens at least once, because it's just a unique. Another one that comes to mind is China. China is another one because it's weird. Because sometimes you come out of the hairpin at China and you might be side by side. Some guys might be going straight and someone's turning, and there's a few tracks like that. But Canada especially, because it's straight ahead and the braking, there's no brake lights. But usually, from my experience, I would always try to warn the guy behind, maybe do a little swerve or something to give them something, some knowledge that I'm coming into the pits. I don't know if Bam Bam, it looked like he broke a little early, but that's something to practice when you do league racing here, Ken. A good note for tomorrow night, Tronk. Maybe practice that pit lane entry. Make sure that doesn't happen to you.
Yeah, that's very common. That's a very common type of accident in Canada. Well, now you can see freeze lots of let's say penalties, right? Almost the whole grid.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. Penalties, bam, there it is. Top 3 with 3 seconds. Fire up, still clean. And it's gotten a weave with 6. That might set him back, but no, he's actually clear of 16 seconds. So if we say clean, he's not going to lose any, but it's going to be hard for him to gain positions ahead. B Good's also clean. Bam Bam's clean. He's always clean. Bam Bam's clean all the time. He doesn't get penalties. You can count on that. Watch, he'll get a penalty. That'll be his first one ever. I've never seen him with the penalty. And then you got Red Wing, Chargers, Latope, and Giggle with a few penalties. Seam, TJ, and 12 is clean as well. So that's your penalties there. It's definitely come. So the top 3 are even. So it's going to come down to who is...
Red Wing on the Bam Bam on turn 1.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, nice move from Red Wing. If that's him, we still don't know. We'll have to figure that out so that hopefully that doesn't happen. Yeah, it looks like he's disconnected. I don't know if that's him. I really
he's
don't.
Disconnected.
Yeah.
Never mind, he's disconnected.
Great move. That was Kimmy. That might have been Kimmy. He might be in Kimmy's car. Kimmy came to race tonight.
Yeah.
I wonder if Bam Bam knows. He's got to know that's Kimmy. It's got to be an AI. He's gonna go into the Discord after, say, Red Wing, what a great race, a great move. I was gone at lap 2. What are you talking about?
Yeah. And he knows it, right? Because the interface clearly tells you, how the connection is, and there's a a red cross, exactly, where the connection, the quality of the signal would be, is there. So there's a big red cross there. So, yeah, he knows AI have overtaken him.
Actually, that's a good point you say, because personally, I wouldn't have known it would be an AI because I don't run the name tags. I take the name tags off, so I actually wouldn't see the X or the disconnection. I don't see the names or positions. I take that all off because I don't like that on the screen. I don't really like the names on the track. So most drivers keep it on, but I don't personally like that on my screen. I think the less information, kind of better. You need information to some degree, but you also need a focus.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it really covers the whole screen. Look at it.
Yeah, I didn't know you can actually remove those name tags, you know, from the car. So I will try to find, you know, that that configuration that in the game if there's one. Is there one? Is there a way to disable them?
Yeah, you could definitely disable them in one of the settings. There's many settings in this game. They definitely added in, and we like that. They made it very confusing, in my opinion. The whole they changed everything, and it's confused me personally. I thought they had a really nice setup, and they changed it all. We have Incident Chargers in the final corner. Went for a spin and speeds into the pit lane. And he retires. In the points as well. I don't know about that one. It's interesting there from Chargers.
Yeah. So apparently there can be, this can also be a connection problem, right? But he was apparently reset into track, you know, and came back to the finish line, you know.
Yeah, maybe dinner was ready. I don't know.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, it was very weird. Nonetheless, Blaine asked how many penalties. There you go. We got Just Jose in lead over 6 seconds from Bats behind. He's got 3 seconds penalty. Bats plus as well, 3-second penalty. Now, if Just Jose gets 1 extra penalty over Bats plus, if he has 6, now the gap is 3. Now you're playing with something a little bit, but at the moment it's still even. So if it stays like this, it's going Just Jose's way. Bats plus is looking to get a nice solid second in this race if he can continue, and he should be clear, but behind is the McLaren of STX, but he's got 6 seconds. Now I think Fire Up Flow will be able to snag a podium, and I think that would mean STX is actually on for a P4 tonight. And Godney Weeb, he'll be fine. He's got a big gap to be good behind. That's 13. Red Wing will be disqualified. He didn't race. That's Kimmy. We'll give Kimmy the points tonight. So that'll promote Bam Bam to 7th. He's clean. Leto should have 9th. He's got about a 19-20 second gap behind. Even with the penalty, he'll be clean. And because the Chargers DNFing in the pit lane, that promotes Giggle into top 10. And exactly, you know, exactly my point is, no matter what happens in the race, I mean, TJ, Giggle, Leto, Bam Bam, or, a few drivers had a few mistakes, and the race didn't really go their way. But, because of the low attendance today, but not even tonight, but any race, you definitely want to keep racing, because things, you never know how you can get into the point. So if Giggle had, for most of his race, he's been in his own race. He hasn't been battling anybody. But in the end, if he can snag a point, you snag a point, you take it, right?
Oh, yeah.
You never give up. We have about 2 laps remaining in this race. No safety cars tonight. We will not get one tonight. It's too late. We might get a VSC, but that's about it. Fire Up Flow into turn 1. Round the outside. That's going to give him the inside for 2. STX on a switch. He tries it. Watch out here into 3. Fire Up goes deep. Hits the corner nice, but STX on the traction. Now we'll have the inside for turn 5. Barely enough room for the 2 of them, but Fireflow is still going to be ahead. But it's going to be the McLaren behind with the DRS and the traction. Better corner speed. Down the inside. This is a 1 corner. You can only fit 1, and that's red. I was going to say the Red Bull. The red car. What is that? A Ferrari. What am I doing here? Fireflow. Still ahead into the hairpin. We saw this a few earlier into the race. He went and got the move in the hairpin, but not this time by. But watch, he's going to have the DRS here on the straightaway. Yeah, and that should be clean. He should have it for the following straightaway as well. Yes, he does. So that's P3. I know Fireflow knows STX has a penalty, but I think he wants to do the actual overtake on track and get it done. It always means a little bit more when you can actually finish on the podium. But if he just stays like that, he can still have it. We have a yellow.
Yeah, you know, but you know, Fire Up didn't need to. I mean, it was an awesome fight for us, you know, watching it. You know, it was the entire you know, second last lap. You know, fighting for position with STX, but STX has 6 seconds, so it took maybe, you know, too much risk unneeded, right? Too much unneeded risk in that situation.
Absolutely, and Just Jose will cross the line to win the Canadian Grand Prix, and round number 3, it's his first points and first win of the season. Bats Plus back onto the podium after an earlier spin on the opening lap. He'll have P2, and let's see where this battle for third will end up. It's going to be the McLaren out of the final corner leading on track. Down to the inside is the McLaren. It's going to be Fire Up Flow on the podium because of the penalty. Got Weeb in 5th. He also picked up a penalty on the final corner, and I think that costs him 4th. Be good. Clean on penalties. Should have 6th. Red Wing will be disqualified in the end. And Latope and Bam Bam, those positions should be fine right there. So interesting. I like the strategy aspect of tonight's race. We had some nice battles, not many wrecks, which I like. Not many safety cars, which I also like. We've had a lot this season to open season 12. Yeah, I think
that's really, you know, normally we would expecting safety cars, you know, because of the whole situation of the game, you know, too many, you know, spins, crashes normally, and actually during the race we didn't have many, so yeah.
Yeah, and I think last night there was 3 in silver, and tonight I think we only had the 1 VSC, but you know, the strategies were all over the board. Canada, I love that. I mean, the 2, the 1. And we'll look at that as well. And good point. We had Bam Bam actually ran out of fuel. I think a lap. I think he ran out of fuel like a full lap, or maybe even a lap and a half, or even more, before the end of the race. So that tells me he underfueled the car a lot, suspecting a safety car to save that fuel. And he probably put in too little fuel and wasn't able to get back to even or into the positive to actually finish the race. I don't know how many positions that lost him. Definitely lost him a few.
Yeah, and when situations like that happen, you know, that you don't have many safety cars, those drivers, you know, let's say gambling, you know, and betting there will be safety cars, they wouldn't be, you know, in a good position because they would need to save fuel, and you do that during the safety car. You can even switch things into economy.
Yeah, I've never actually had that option. At the end of the race, I believe you can go into a lower fuel mode if you're really low on fuel, but it's going to really slow the car down. I have not really known about it, so I'm not really going to say much, but I think that's a thing. And let me know in the comments about that feature. If you're really low on fuel, is there another switch you can put on the car? Because that'd be good to know. You know, when I do these commentaries, I gotta get a little bit. You guys gotta gotta provide the information for me. But it's gonna be Just Jose. I think that's a sweep today. He had the pole, he had the fastest lap, and damn, he did really get the win. So that's gonna be 26 points to Just Jose, and a really good redemption for him to get back into the scoring some points. So. Great performance by Just Jose. We'll be hearing by the 3 of them. Tronk, if you would be able to invite the top 3, that'd be wonderful. That's going to be Just Jose, Bats Plus, and Fire Up Flow. If you can invite them, that'd be awesome.
Okay, we'll do.
And leave some questions in the comments for those watching. We'll be hearing from the top 3 in just a moment. And before you head out, remember to hit that like button and subscribe or follow either on Twitch or YouTube. If you haven't done so already, really do appreciate the support. And like mentioned, today was actually our 400th video on YouTube. Tomorrow is the Platinum class for their Canadian Grand Prix. Don't forget to tune into that. Same time, same place. That'll be tomorrow night. It'll be Blinn Machine and a mystery commentator. It's probably going to be me, but a mystery commentator for tomorrow. But you'll hear Blinn tomorrow in the top class of Platinum. And we have some podium interviews coming soon. If I could find the showroom, here we go. And a few drivers are joining.
So freeze. It's Judge Jose, Bats Plus. I forgot the third one. Sorry.
Fire Up Flow.
Okay.
Alright. And we do have confirmation Bam Bam did underfuel the car, and he ran out a lap prior. So, hey Bam Bam, if you're listening, was there an extra switch you could put on? I'm still looking for the answer. Alright, I think we got everybody. So before we start, for the top three, just make sure your audio sharing settings are on. If you've been here every week, I'm pretty sure they're already on, but just double check it. And we'll start P3 with the Ferrari of Fire Up Flow. So congratulations on the podium tonight. It was a nice race, a nice strategy. Pretty clean, other than the fact of some contact on the opening lap, I believe, with Bats Plus. But talk us through your race today.
Yeah, that was, oh yeah, Bats in here. Yeah, Bats. That was my fault for sure. Just broke a little late there. But yeah, honestly, besides that, it was a pretty boring race, which is exactly what I wanted, because that track is really difficult. I even had a one-handed save in there, so it was honestly amazing to get out of there without any penalties and not get any damage. So really happy with the podium, and I knew if I could just cross the line at the end that I'd be in a decent spot. So yeah, it was a good race.
And it was also a good day for Ferrari as well. You and your teammate, I'm assuming you had some communications with him. How was the team working together today?
Yeah, worked together perfect. We actually don't talk during the race, but him and our buddies in the real life. But we just told each other, it's always whoever's in the lead gets first pit, and that's as simple as that. So if you pit in, you can come on behind them if you want, but they'll get the preference. And the VSC came out right as I was going to pit anyway, so we ended up double stacking. But I think it was the right move at the time for him to come in behind me anyways. So yeah, it was good to get a lot of points for us.
All right, and final question: you won the opening round, not on track, but with the penalty, you were able to get onto the podium today for P3. That's 2 out of 3. You're on the podium up from the silver class. How do you judge your season so far? We have a week off next week, and before we get into a nice, good stint of a lot of good racetracks coming up, just talk us through your initial races here in Golden.
Yeah, man, they've been a lot of fun. I mean, this is pretty as good of a start as I could ask for. Besides last week, my teammate coming together, but that's just going to happen. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far. So I'm looking forward to the rest of it.
Awesome. And Trunk, do you have any question for Fire Up Flow?
Oh yeah, 2 questions for Fire Up Flow. First of all, congrats for the P3. That was really well deserved. So first question, I mean, I can see probably you're going to be escalating in the standings into P1, right?
Oh, that I don't know. Maybe I haven't looked at it yet. Who's in front of me? Ryan and Bam Bam.
Yeah, Bam Bam and Ryan, and didn't Ryan didn't play. Bam Bam scored just a few points, I guess. Yeah, probably you're going to be escalating into P1. So the question is, does that change anything into the way you're going to be driving, the next racings? The next races?
No, I don't think so. China's going to be fun, but I think honestly the goal in the races is just stay as clean as possible and just stay consistent. When you get in a zone in some of those races, you're just putting in decent lap times, and for these past few races, it's honestly, especially with this one when we have so few guys, it's just you stay on the track and don't get penalties, and you'll probably be in a decent spot. So just gotta stay consistent.
Awesome. And the second question would be related to the last two laps. You had a very interesting, let's say, battle, right? A very clean battle as well with STX. At least that's what we saw, And but he had 6 seconds. So was that somehow avoidable, because you somehow took some risks there? Did you have everything under control? Did you notice he had the penalty? How was it? But it was fun, We watched it. It was really, really, a very nice fight to see.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun and Sticks and I kind of have some history there. So I went for the pass because I was right there. I just felt like I was fast. I mean, I was going to be fast on the mediums at that point, and then he started fighting back, and I gave him a little bit of a fight, but I knew he had a 6-second time penalty, so there was no way I was going to fight it too hard. And then on the last lap, I was like, I'm not even going to try to pass him. There's no point. So just swallowed my pride and just crossed the line. So, yeah, it was fun.
That was awesome. Thank you very much, and congrats again for
Thanks. Yep, thanks, guys.
All right, and we will now move to P2 in tonight's race. That would go to the Williams of Bats Plus. Another podium tonight, kind of another recovery. Talk us through that opening lap with the contact from behind, ultimately losing positions, but you were able to get back into P2, deciding to go, I believe, with the one stop, stretching the mediums very long, and then putting the softs on at the end.
Yeah, I got spun out on the first lap and got put back into like 8th. And I thought I had damage because the front of my car hit someone else's when I spun, and kind of got stuck behind slower cars. And then Chargers got damaged and blocked me in another car for 4 or 5 seconds. And then he almost crashed into me going into the pits, and I ended up getting a warning out of it. And then there was a VSC. I don't know why that came out, and that kind of gave Jose saved him a lot of time on his first pit stop. So all in all, I probably lost about 12 seconds because of all that stuff. So I was going to do medium to hard, and because the one stop's actually faster. But once the VSC came out, pitting would have ruined my entire race, so I just stayed out and went on the softs at the end.
Awesome. Well, it definitely worked out. We're 3 races into the season. It's been a complicated start to your season. I would probably say that. How do you go forward? We're off next week, then we return to China, which we haven't done since season 10, I believe. September 14th to the 16th, I believe, are those dates. How do you judge your first 3 races, and what do you need to change anything, or do you think it'll all come back your way in this next stint? After the off week.
I don't really think about the past races. I mean, the first race, I got a penalty, obviously. I don't think I should have gotten one, but I mean, I get why I did. So I don't really have a problem with it. I mean, so I pretty much won that race with damage, and the second race I had a lot of really bad luck. I think I got spun out or pushed off the track a few times, which cost me a lot of time, obviously, and I just hit a curb wrong in the first lap, which didn't really help anything. But I honestly, I still should have won that race. I got put on wet tires by the game, and that's why I had to pit twice under that safety car. So
interesting. That's good information to know. Because I remember that last week. I'm like, nah, there's no way he puts the wets. He's too good a driver to put the wets in. It might have been a mistake by the game.
Yeah, I wanted to put softs on, and if if it put the right tire on, then I probably would have been in 5th or 6th, and I would have been able to pass everyone because of their tire situations. But it didn't happen, so I finished 7th. So it's just a lot of bad luck so far, so I'm not really too worried about it.
Yeah, get the bad luck out of the way now, and then you have a nice rest of the season. So congrats on P2 and then the podium. And Trunk, do you have any questions for Bats Plus?
Yeah, so I have a question, but first, I'm trying to make some projections here on the standings. Of course, you guys are going to be calculating everything. Looking forward to that. Yeah, Betts is going to be, gaining some positions there. He was before the race, he was P5. Now he's going to be escalating maybe to P3. And
I think I'm going to be a point ahead of Fire.
Okay,
so
even ahead of Fire.
I got +3 tonight on him. So I think I'm 2 behind. I just checked.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So it's pretty close at the top, which is good.
Yeah, and you're passing your teammate, TCR Johns, right? Who didn't play. Yeah, he didn't race tonight, right? Yeah, okay, good. So congrats for that. And the question would be, one thing we were discussing during the qualifying, did you notice, because you had a spin and possibly some floor damage in your car during qualifying, which somehow affected your qualifying performance? That's at least what we noticed. But then the question would be, did you sense any kind of problem with the car even before your accidents for the race? Does that damage carry over to the race?
It had rear wing damage from the qualifying thing, but I think they fixed that in the pits. I don't think it carries over to the rest of the session, and it definitely didn't carry over to the race because the race was fine.
Okay, good to hear. Yeah,
so
we're always learning.
I guess they put a rear wing on real quick.
Okay, good. Yeah. And it's Williams, right? Okay,
they're used to it.
Congrats, Bats.
Thanks.
Alright, so that was just Bat Plus for P2, and now we will move on to the winner of today's race, and that will be with the sweep as well. I always like when a driver sweeps. It just puts the icing right on top of the cake, even with the cherry. You can add the cherry, just Jose, because you got the pole position, you got the win of tonight's race, and also the fastest lap, so it was a slam dunk tonight. You got all 3, the maximum 26 points after scoring none in the first 2 opening rounds. How do you judge tonight's race and also your first 3 rounds in the opening of season 12?
Well, what can I say? Fucking finally. I've been trying to... I've been having real good pace on this 3 first rounds. Well, in Monza I got taken out, and Suzuka I did an oopsie with the tire strategy to not say anything else. I put the intermediates, and game didn't thought it was time for intermediates, even though it was raining for 20 laps, and it never came quite the time to put the intermediates. So I had to drive until I don't know. I was just saying, I'm already last. Worst thing that happened is that I crash. So let's just stick with the intermediate. See if anytime the conditions worsen, I'm gonna be on the right tire. But it didn't work. Not much to do there. Finished last, I think. I can't remember. And coming in here, I had a bit of practice. I'm on another setup actually from the one I raced before. So maybe that took me out of the slump I was in. Took pole by a few hundredths. I can't remember actually, but was a messy lap. Wasn't even near what I could have done there. I missed a lot of apexes, and I don't know how I managed to get pole. And then coming to the race, I just wanted to have a clean, nice first lap, and that's what I did. After that, it was smooth sailing. Well, after the VSC, to be honest. After that VSC that came on lap 8, that was 2 laps less than I wanted to do in the softs, but I said fuck it, let's just go into mediums. Well, it wasn't even a choice there, it was kind of obvious. And then I held on to lap 25 just so I can get the softs, and I was watching if STX was gonna pit, because maybe he will do something random and just not pit and go to the end on those old softs he had. But he pitted, and then I knew I had the gap to Bats. I came out like 1.4 seconds ahead, and then I just stretched it until the end.
Awesome. It seemed, like you said, smooth sailing. It seemed like a very controlled race. Once past the VSC in the first stint, a few drivers having some mistakes. You had Latope, you had Chargers, Bats Plus off the bat. I keep saying that, and I don't really mean to do the pun there, but I think I say it so often now. You've probably seen in so many of the commentaries. I think I have to go with it, and if I piss people off, I piss people off. You know what I mean? But anyway, that was a side note that you get in the post race interviews. Any difficulties in the race overall, or was it smooth sailing? And then, like you said, and then how do you take what you do, the momentum? You do have an off week next week, but how do you come back and deliver again at China?
Yeah, the win is something that I needed emotionally, because on my 4 leagues I've been bottling races left and right, like from the lead crashing out with no pressure. So I am kind of on a bad time with my racing, but let's hope this is the turning point I needed, and I can carry this after the break and get some more wins. Yeah, I think I have the potential to win plenty of more races now.
Awesome, we'll go do it. And Tronk, do you have any final questions for Just Jose?
Yeah, the only one I was, first of all, congratulations, Jose, nice to meet you. So the only question I had actually you just made, is if you had any kind of difficulties or, situations where, you, Jose, would be, kind of feeling, hey, maybe P1 won't be happening tonight, right? But you answered that already, so it was a consistent race. But, so let's do some trivia question here. So I see you hold the Chilean flag. I can see that flag in the standings here. So do you know who was the last Chilean Formula One driver?
Well, actually, the last was the first one. It was called Eliseo Salazar. He was on the 80s, I think.
Yeah,
he scored
exactly.
like 4 points on the whole career.
Yeah.
Back when just the top 6 scored points. So he was kind of a national hero.
Exactly. I am Brazilian, so I, have been following Formula 1 since the 80s, right? And y podemos hablar también acá en español si es necesario también, porque mi padre es español. So my father is Spanish, so I can speak Spanish as well. So there's a accent festival today, right? See, freeze. And but the nice story I have to share with you about Eliseo Salazar is that, this was one of the only cases where there was actually a small fight between 2 drivers after an accident, and that was in Hockenheim in the 80s.
With
you guys,
PK.
Yeah, with PK, which is Brazilian as well. But here it's the only party. We're all happy. So the Brazilian and Chilean over Formula One, and a nice story. And by the way, Eliseo Salazar and Nelson Piquet, they're friends. So every time they show up during Formula One events, they would even be taking pictures, simulating the fight again and those things. And this is a nice, kind of nice things we have been experiencing while watching Formula One. That's how Formula One is so amazing. With lots of legends, we have been talking about Kimi during the race as well, because his retirement is announced by the end of this year, right? Yeah, so that's how we love the sport, right? And congrats again, Jose, for the P1.
Thanks, man. Thanks so much.
Man, the more you know, I guess. Shit, I thought Blinn always gives me some history, but man, Trump might be the new history guy. I really like that, and holy moly, I didn't know anything you just said, and I don't even know the driver or anything, but the more you know, I guess, Formula One in the history, there's a lot of it in the history books. Really good stuff. I love that. Really caught me off guard, but that's some good stuff. A Chilean driver, one and only, is that right? That's really cool. Anyway, I think we're gonna wrap it up here for the Golden Class. I cannot no longer speak tonight, but finally, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone watching on the Twitch and YouTube side, and for all the support, and also to the drivers who joined for the post-race interviews. It was a great race. A lot of strategy involved. Some good moves. And I'll be interested to see how that plays out tomorrow with hopefully a few more drivers onto the grid for the Platinum class, and see how they fare tomorrow night. We will see Bats Plus and Trunk in the grid tomorrow night, hopefully. So we'll be looking forward to that. Other than that, thank you, Trunk, for joining me back on the commentary. It was a lot of fun. And that's really all I got. Check the description for more information. And other than that, we'll see you tomorrow night for the Platinum class.